I will tell you a story called Love on Call. Thanks for the like, it motivates me to do retellings for you more often.
Audio Jungle.
It all starts with a former teacher named Nancy. She enters the hotel room with a suitcase. It is noticeable how the woman is very nervous because this will be her first man on call in her life, despite her great age. Nancy is very complex about her body, so she takes alcohol, but this only makes her more nervous. Later, the woman hears a knock on the door. This is the guy she ordered. Nancy stood at the door for a few minutes, but decided to open it anyway. A young man comes into the room. He kisses the client on the cheek and smiles affectionately. She meets a pretty confident guy named Leo, who knows his stuff and is ready for anything that can't be said about Nancy. Nancy tries to keep up the conversation, but because of her awkwardness, she does not succeed. She immediately understands that Leo is experienced. He manages to defuse the situation. It seems that the guy sincerely compliments her, admires her smile and enjoys her perfume. Leo takes the initiative completely into his own hands, strikes up a casual conversation trying to win over Nancy. The guy pours champagne to soften the atmosphere and proceeds to discuss the tastes and desires of the client. But Nancy is clearly not ready for such a conversation. The woman asks Leo if he has received money to his account for these few hours, but immediately apologizes and says that she did not mean to offend. Leo replies that this is his job and there is nothing shameful about it. He sincerely loves to give women joy. The guy still reminds her of her desires. It turns out that Nancy had only one man in her whole life. This is her husband. A few years ago he died, but for all the time with him she never experienced pleasure. Nancy wants to get rid of shyness and complexes, so she decided to use Leo's services. Leo calms her down and says that she will definitely like everything. The woman replies that this is impossible, even though she likes the guy's confidence. At some point, she began to overcome stress. Nancy wished to get busy as soon as possible, get it over with and rest. Leo is very surprised by such words. He explains that this is not a test, she needs to relax and enjoy their meeting, but in response he is only doubts. Nancy wonders if she should take this shameful step, because she has been the keeper of the family hearth and a good teacher all her life. The woman can't find a place for herself. She rushes around the room nervously and constantly changes her mind. Well, Leo is quietly watching this. After some time, he still manages to convince the client that there is nothing wrong with her desire. Nancy is terribly complex about her body and makes it clear that in no case will she be offended if he takes a pill. But Leo claims that everything is fine and he really likes her. And to calm Nancy down, the guy says that he has had older ladies. It would seem that everything should happen, but Nancy goes to the bathroom to change into a more appropriate outfit for the occasion. Nancy took a long time to decide while Leo was preparing for her arrival. Some time later, the guy finds a price tag on Nancy's clothes and at that moment she worries again and asks him to leave. I promise that she will not demand the money back. But Leo is not ready to leave so easily. It's clear from his behavior that he likes Nancy's awkwardness and his main goal for today is to do his job. Leo is sure that after the death of her husband, Nancy has a lot of applicants for her heart, but the woman makes it clear that she is not interested in old people. She admits that she wanted to spend time with a young guy for a whole year. Then Leo replies that it is necessary to take advantage of this chance while he is around. The guy still persuades the client to lie down next to him. From the outside, it is clear that Nancy likes Leo madly. He is smart, handsome, and the woman wants to know more about him. Leo is reluctant to talk about family. His mother is sure that his son works at the factory. In response, Nancy talks about her adult children and the problems they face. But at this moment Leo tries to change the subject of family and asks again about her fantasies. She admits that throughout her life she wanted to try a lot with her husband, but he considered it a humiliation both for himself and for her. Therefore, for 30 years in a row, nothing has changed in their bed life. She insanely wants to try everything, but she can't get over herself. Later, Leo suddenly interrupted her next story with a kiss and finally got down to business. A few days later, Nancy ordered Leo's services again. She explains that she rented the same room so that the new environment would not distract. The woman tried to look more confident and prepared well. She made a list of her wishes that she would like to fulfill on the left, since she is not sure that she has enough money for the next meeting. After a while, Nancy feels awkward again. The woman is not confidently rushing around the room, although she tries to show that she is ready for experiments. Leo doesn't understand why there's such a rush. He believes that his main task is to give a woman pleasure that she has never experienced in her life. But still Nancy stands her ground. She wants to try everything as soon as possible and get it over with. Then Leo explains that it is necessary to relax, so he diffuses the situation with a dance. After that, he gives the woman a massage. They have a nice conversation and Nancy again reminded of Leo's mother. Leo is clearly uncomfortable with this and he changes the subject again. Later, Nancy admires Leo's body and at some point she is overcome with stress. A woman shares her complexes, complaining about her unattractive body, which in her opinion is getting worse every day. And Leo seems genuinely delighted with Nancy. He pours her compliments and everything goes to her first wish, but the woman is afraid that he will not like it. Then Leo told several cases with his clients. At one woman's, he puts on a cat costume and has to ignore her for several hours, after which he received money and went home. He is very reassuring to Nancy when he says that he feels great happiness during his work. And the woman finally fulfills her first fantasy from the list. Later during the conversation, Nancy calls Leo's real name. The guy was furious that the client got into his personal life. He is going and asks never to book a meeting with him. A few minutes later, he returns to pick up the phone. The guy couldn't contain his emotions and told the whole truth. It turns out that his mother always disliked him and abandoned Leo when he was 15 and told everyone she knew that he had died. The guy offers Nancy to get a refund and leaves. After a while we see Nancy in the hotel restaurant. A woman meets a waitress who was her student and feels awkward. Leo arrives later. It is clear that the guy is no longer angry, so he accepts Nancy's apology. The woman admits that thanks to Leo she feels happy, so she recommends his services to her friends. After a few hours of heartfelt conversations, Nancy decides to confess to a former student that they use Leo's services, and the guy is a rater of Nancy's bondage. They go to the room and this time, without words, they immediately get down to business. When Leo was looking for a device that could help them, Nancy, looking at him, was finally able to experience the final delight on her own. The couple understands that they will not meet again and wishes each other good luck. Nancy goes to the mirror and looks at herself in a completely different way. Well, that's it. There is nowhere without your support, so thank you in advance for the like, subscription and bell.